There are lots of great Mac apps out there, but I found 15 I don't think you've ever seen, featuring several free apps to quickly airdrop files, see the available disk space on your Mac and network-attached storage, a better way to find GIFs on your Mac, plus apps that let you present slides like you're in Minority Report, read from a teleprompter that follows your voice, and make sure you're looking into the camera, back up your entire iCloud drive, a new take on notes, and more. And in my last video on widgets, I know a lot of people have subscription fatigue. So when you see the bullhorn, you know I'm being very clear about pricing. And a lot of these are either free or one-time purchases, no subscriptions. And the first app is totally free. It's called Menuwhere. This is from developer Sindre Sorhus, which makes a ton of amazing apps. We're going to be featuring a few more in a minute. But Menuwhere is just a little utility that lives right up here in your menu bar, and it's the fastest way to airdrop a file. You can drag any file you want right up into that menu bar icon, and it opens up the airdrop window. Send it to a device, and you're good to go. You can also start from the menu bar icon and then choose a file, or I really love that he has the clipboard option in there, so you can just click that and airdrop whatever's on your clipboard. And to be clear, that app is free. F-R-E-E. This next app is from developer Manytricks, and it's called Menuwhere. Now, if you know the keyboard shortcuts for the menu item you need, like to export a file, that's great. But a lot of times you probably find yourself going up to the menu bar, finding where that option is, going through all these different menus, and if you have a big display, like my studio display, the menu bar can feel kind of far away. So what Menuwhere does is I can hold the command button, I have it programmed to option, and then right click, and that will put whatever's in the menu bar for that app wherever my mouse was. So by holding option and right clicking, I have my full menu bar right here. I can go over to the export as, see all the options, and now the menu bar for whatever app is open will appear anywhere I right click and hold the option key on the keyboard. And even just to quickly get to something like system settings, boom, right here by option clicking. Also, if the menu bar feels a little small and hard to read, you can actually adjust the size using Menuwhere. Now, Menuwhere is not free, but it is a one-time purchase of just $3. That's $3 one-time purchase. Next, you probably have lots of occasions to send GIFs on your Mac, like in email and Slack, and those apps don't always have good GIF searching. Yes, I said GIF. Well, that's where our brand new app Gnome comes in. It's actually this little hat here in the menu bar. I can click it, type in a search term, and as soon as I click one, it's on my clipboard. But you can also program a keyboard shortcut. I have Shift Option Command G. So now I can just, with that keyboard shortcut, quickly pull up any GIF search, type it in, click a GIF, and it's on my clipboard. And now whether I'm in an email or Slack, I can just paste and that GIF is there. This is another paid app, but it's only $7, one-time purchase forever, no subscription. So $7, one-time purchase. Oh, and links to every app I'm talking about down in the video description. But let's do another free app, and that's DiskView. You can find this in the Mac App Store. It also lives here in the menu bar, and all it does is simply tell you the available space on your built-in SSD or hard drive on your Mac, and any external SSDs and network attached storages. So I have my built-in Mac Studio SSD, external SSDs that are connected just via Thunderbolt, and even my network attached storages. This is my Synology and then a Ugreen NAS, and I can see the total storage and available space. And you can even eject any of those storage drives just by clicking right here in the utility. I'll link it in the Mac App Store, and again, that's totally free. All right, this next app I'm a little partial to because it's made by my co-host Jason A10 of Primary Technology. You can listen to our tech podcast every Thursday, by the way. I'll put a QR code you can scan, but Contextly is his new Markdown note editor and calendar plus to-do list. It kind of does all three. You can easily import all your notes either from an existing note app or just a bunch of Markdown or text files. You can import from Apple Notes, Bear, all of that. I imported from Bear. You can have different notebooks here in the left-hand sidebar. It's a great Markdown editor. So if you're doing bulleted list or you want to link something, all of that works great, and you'll see the preview of that Markdown here in the editor. But where it really shines is if you give it access to your calendar, you can see your events here in the right-hand sidebar, and then you can attach notes to events. For instance, tomorrow I'm doing my weekly Shortcuts live stream, and when I click that event, I can either open the note that's already attached to the event, and right here, I jump to it, no matter what notebook or where it is in the app. And if you have a note open right now, I can right-click an event here and link that note to an event in the right-hand column. You can also create a brand new note linked to that event here from the list. So all of that is free to use, just a Markdown notes editor, the events, attaching notes to the events on the right-hand side. And if you do upgrade to Contextly Pro, which, by the way, I do love the name Contextly. Let me give him a bullhorn. It is $5 a month or $40 a year, but then you can use Apple Intelligence to create summaries and action items, and then those tasks can be sent to other apps like reminders. You also get unlimited notebooks that way, audio recording and transcription, so you can record your meeting and then get that transcription and summary right after. And like I said, send to-dos to reminders and Todoist. It's available on Mac right now, and well, you can listen to Primary Technology because I think it's going to be available elsewhere pretty soon too. too. Now, if there's one app that every Mac user should have, it is a clipboard manager. And even though there's a clipboard manager now built into macOS, it's very limited. It doesn't save your clippings forever. You can't blacklist certain apps, so like password apps, when you copy, it'll just go on the clipboard. And you can't get your full clipboard history on your iOS devices. Well, that's where today's sponsor comes in. Paste. Paste is an incredible clipboard manager for your Mac. When you open it up, it brings up this tray at the bottom, and I love how it saves all your clippings in these media-rich cards. So that GIF I copied a few seconds ago, it's right here. All the links and pieces of text I copied from my bare note, it has it all here in Paste. And you can program a keyboard shortcut to quickly bring up that Paste menu. I have it as Command-Option-V, and Paste has all those power features that are missing from the built-in clipboard manager. For instance, you can choose to keep your clipboard history forever, totally unlimited. It syncs with iCloud, and under the privacy options, you can choose to ignore applications like 1Password and even the built-in Passwords app, so when you're copying sensitive information, it won't get saved to Paste. Plus, you can even have things like useful links, even multiple boards of useful links, so these are always ready to copy to your clipboard, like my primary technology link, my YouTube channel link. I can just click it, and it's on my clipboard. Now I can paste, and now everything I've copied is stored safely, and one of the best parts is Paste syncs to all your iOS devices, so everything you've copied and pasted is available right here. I can even tap the GIF that I just used on my Mac, that's now on my clipboard, and I can paste it in an email, a text message, wherever I would like. And Paste also has great shortcuts actions. Step 1 of productivity on your Mac is having a great clipboard manager, and that's why you should try Paste. Scan this QR code right here or the link down below. You could download and try Paste for free, and there's a special offer right now if you scan this or check out that link down in the description. And my thanks to Paste for sponsoring this video. All right, this next app is great for using a teleprompter on your Mac. This one is called Moody. With Moody, you can have different scripts here, and when you start the teleprompter, I'll click play, it actually shows up here in the notch. So this is especially helpful on something like a MacBook Air or Pro. And then it's going to listen to your voice. And as it hears your voice, you can see the little purple glow at the bottom, so you know it's hearing your voice. You can always turn that off if you want, but reading from the script right under the camera on the MacBook, that's going to get you as close as possible to like reading from an actual teleprompter with the camera behind the lens. So let me do a few seconds of actually reading it. There are lots of great Mac apps out there, but I found 15 I don't think you've ever seen. Welcome to Shortcuts University. And if you stop talking or take a break, you'll see it also will stop scrolling. By the way, you can check out Shortcuts University as well. I'll put a QR code here. Shortcuts on demand. I have a $50 off right now. I'm going to keep that going till dub, but you can learn all about shortcuts, 13 hours of video in 12 lessons. You can sign up there, and the link's down below as well. Now you can also break out the teleprompter window if you want it somewhere else, and lots of options for customizing the prompter, like sensitivity to hearing your voice, the playback speed. If you want a longer countdown, the window size, you can make it larger, smaller, color, monospace, all of that. And the voice beam toggle right here is that little purple glow. If you read a lot of things via teleprompter and you want to look like you're looking in your MacBook camera, or maybe you want to use it for a Zoom call or a presentation, Moody's great. Heads up though, it is a one-time purchase, not a subscription, but it is $29. So not the cheapest app, but one-time purchase, no subscription. And while we're here on my MacBook Air, I'll show you one other app. This one is from Sandwich Video, Adam Lissagore, who was actually a guest on Primary Technology. This is called Hovercraft. So with Hovercraft, you can upload a PDF of your presentation. It does have to be in PDF format. And then this video will go to any other app like Zoom or Google Meet. And then I can literally pinch on the slides here, make them larger by pushing towards my camera, make them smaller by moving away, almost like you're using Apple Vision Pro. And then you can let it go and present the slides wherever you would like. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard, and that can actually scroll through the slides. And at any time, you can pinch and zoom, move it around, put it over here. And if you want, you can always fill the screen with the slide by pressing the F key or even F twice, and that will go into full screen mode. And there's lots of keyboard shortcuts you'll see at the bottom, like you can center the slides, you can press R to reset it back to the original position. But it's a fun little trick, especially if you're trying to grab the attention of people you're presenting to on that Zoom call. Just pinch, move the window forward and back, maybe make it super large. Pretty cool app. Now, when it comes to pricing, Hovercraft is a one-time purchase, $20 for one Mac, $30 if you want to install it on 2, and then $50 if you need to go up to 5 Macs. But one-time purchase, no subscription. Now, this next app is very niche. It is free to download and try with a couple podcast episodes, and then $20 one-time purchase. Oh, sorry, I forgot. One-time purchase of $20. But now that we're doing video in Apple Podcasts, Chapterize is exactly what I needed. I needed to embed chapters and chapter artwork in the MP3 that matched our video file. And with Chapterize, you can drag in the MP3, and then you can copy timestamps just from your clipboard. And these I actually get from Claude. Just to give you an idea, when we record an episode of Primary Technology, I give it the .srt file from Riverside, which has the timestamps with the captions. I tell it what chapter titles I want, which I know from our Notion document, and then Claude will spit out this timestamp listing with all the chapters. I just copy and paste that into Chapterize. I click import, and then it creates all the chapters, embeds them in the MP3 file. Then I can add links and chapter artwork for every chapter, and so I'm now doing this every week with every episode of Primary Technology. It is exactly what I needed to embed chapters into an MP3 file just from plain text timestamp chapters. So I use this every week. $20 was well worth it. Now a couple subscription apps, but again are well worth it to me. First is Croissant. I use Croissant on all my devices. It's a simple app. You can connect Blue Sky, Mastodon, and your Threads account and then post to all three, even with images, all at once. It also has recent drafts and posts, and you can see everything I've been posting on social media is right here in Croissant. I can also add alt text to images, and then it sends that alt text to Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Threads all at the same time. I want to include alt text. I have a lot of people who have messaged me saying it's helpful, and so I use Croissant on the Mac, and I use it even more on my iPhone, and it's just where I post everything. It's free to download, and then it's $3 a month, $20 annual, or it can be a one-time purchase of $60. If you're as old as I am, you might remember software used to come in big boxes at Staples or Office Depot, and you would buy things for $60 and then just have it forever. Well, you can do that too with Croissant. And speaking of apps that make managing all those social media accounts a little easier, the next one is Indigo. I'm terminally online. I'm always checking the text-based social media platforms, and this one can at least combine two into one. Blue Sky and Mastodon, I can see all of my mentions, direct messages, and follow a unified timeline. Plus, you can even see when things are cross-posted, like this right here, and then Indigo will only show you that post once. This really helps with not seeing a bunch of duplicate posts if you're browsing Mastodon and Blue Sky. You can see here another cross post here from John Voorhees. So it's a better unified timeline. Plus it brings all of my mentions and DMs into one app. This one is just coming out like today as I record, so I'm not exactly sure of the pricing. It's probably free to try with a subscription for pro features. But if you're like me and you're browsing every single social media app pretty much all the time, you should definitely try Indigo. All right, this next one you may have heard of, but not realized it actually started working again, especially with US carriers like UPS and FedEx. And that's Parcel. I actually have it here in my Mac menu bar. I also run it on my iPhone in a widget, but you can add deliveries from Amazon, UPS. You can see if you have tracking numbers on your clipboard, and then when you open the app, it quickly adds it. I've been using this the last several weeks, and it's been great. Now, you can use it for free and track up to 3 deliveries, also for free. But if you want to track more than 3 or get push notifications, that requires the subscription. It's $7 a year. Yeah, $7 a year. But again, you can use it on your iPhone, your iPad, and your Mac, and it works great everywhere. All right, back to developer Sindre Sorhus, which is Short Run. Now, you might have heard my tale of woe about losing hundreds of shortcuts. I had them backed up. It's not a big deal. But shortcuts on the Mac has been really buggy for me in macOS 26, 4, and .5, and I've not been able to add many to my control center and menu bar reliably. So I decided to just go with Sindre's app, which is Short Run. Here I can have multiple folders. These are all shortcuts that I can run. I can also put individual shortcuts in this top level of the menu bar. I can customize it, and these shortcuts run seamlessly every time. So while the control center has been buggy and kind of slow, this app has been great for running shortcuts right from the menu bar, and I can organize them in different folders quickly and easily. Short Run is $6, one-time purchase, no subscription. And if you want another free app from Sindre, Speediness, if you don't like speedtest.net for actually testing your internet speed, Speediness, free app, you can do the same thing, test your bandwidth. It'll save your history of speed tests, so you can always look back and see how it's been, and yeah, there's my speeds. So Speediness from Sindre is free, and this next one is free called Today. Now I use Fantastical and usually go up to the menu bar to look at my events for today, but if you want a super clean, easy way to see just what's on the agenda, has a nice little icon here in the menu bar. You can connect whatever calendars you want, choose what calendars appear, and right here, you have your agenda right here in the menu bar. You just click it and it shows. You can choose from several different menu bar options. You can also toggle the window with a keyboard shortcut. I just put it on Shift Option Command D, and now I can see my agenda with a keyboard shortcut that quickly. Did I mention that was free? All right, and last 2 apps, these are both one-time purchases. But if you want to be able to organize your windows even better than the built-in options, I've been really liking Moom. Moom lets you create templates, you can snap windows in place. So I've set templates here for like podcasting, and so I can open all these apps, it'll snap those windows in place. And you can also use Moom and AppleScript, and so I have an automation for when I open the Gling app, which for some reason always opens in like a full window view. Every time I open the app, this is a shortcuts automation, it will run a script which actually talks to Moom, and then Moom places that window exactly how I want. So you can automate things with shortcuts and AppleScript and Moom to put windows exactly where you want as soon as you open it. Moom will also live in the little green light here, and so I can use things like use grid, and then I can click and drag any square here on the desktop. I can click and drag and make it larger, and whatever the current window is will snap to what I just dragged. That grid feature is one of my favorites in Moom. But if you have specific window layouts you like doing for certain tasks, or you want to automate certain windows to always open at a certain shape, Moom is the way to go. It's a $15 one-time purchase. And finally, I'm trying to get serious about backing up, especially my iCloud data, and so I downloaded and bought Parachute. It's a $15 one-time purchase. And here you can back up your iCloud drive and your iCloud photos, both or separately, and it will copy all of that data to an external network attached storage, to an external SSD or spinning hard drive. And what Parachute does is, if it comes across a file that's in iCloud but not locally on your Mac, it will download it real quick, back it up or copy it to your destination, and then offload that app from your Mac. So it won't download all those files and take up internal storage on your Mac. It's smart enough to download, save, and then offload those files, and then it just backs up all your files and folders. Now I put pretty much everything in iCloud Drive, and so I'm gonna be backing up to my network attached storage. I'm freeing up some space on that right now. But if you wanna back up your iCloud photos or your iCloud Drive, a lot of backup solutions right now like Backblaze are not backing up your cloud files, whether they're Dropbox synced or iCloud Drive. And so if you save a lot of things in iCloud Drive specifically, like I do, Parachute is what you need to back up. $15, one-time purchase. So let me know down in the comments, how many of the apps that I talk about today did you actually know about? Hopefully you saw some new ones, but if there are any apps I didn't mention or have never mentioned on this channel, I'd love to hear about those too down in the comments. And if you want to automate and up your productivity even more, Shortcuts University, $50 off until dub. You can scan this QR code right here. It is 13 video lessons over 12 hours of videos. And I walk you through shortcuts from the very beginning to advanced techniques like APIs and Apple Intelligence. And if you wanted to see my video about the best iPhone widgets, there's a bunch of new ones I love, both free and some paid in subscription. You can check out that video right up here. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button before you go. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.